Yes.
Yo, my Brody. Who you telling me, bro?
My brother. What's good?
I'm blessed, bro. How are you? Do you know how gassed I have to see you right now, bro? It's been a
fam,
minute.
look at my face. Look at my smile.
It's all recorded, bro. Aye, it's been a minute.
Trust me. Oh, you know me, man. Always blessed, bro.
Always blessed, always working, man. Energy's always on point. I'm all right, you know, bro. I'm all right just getting in these interviews. And yeah, man, not letting this corona stop me or just, you know, get me down and stuff.
Not possible.
Yeah, man. You know, we just got to keep on working and stuff, man.
Good to see you, man.
It's good to see you too, bro. It's good to see you. I'm gassed because, I mean, I think we first met 2016 when you dropped the first single. And then just to see the progression from that till now, almost an adult, which I love the title, by the way. I love the title. I think it's amazing.
We went back and forward with that for time.
I know. How? Talk to me about the process. How did that even come about? Because I feel like that just...
the title.
Yeah, it was just perfect.
Do you know, it's a funny story that, so initially, I wanted it to be like an album. Yeah. You know, there's always just the whole conversation about, is something an album? Is it a mixtape? Is it a whatever? Isn't an EP? Whatever. So we came up with a compromise of almost an album.
Oh, okay.
And then I was thinking, that doesn't really feel right, like theme-wise and aesthetically, innit? So I was coming up with a couple of things. So we had the 3, which was almost an adult, because I thought, that's like, that's it. You know what I mean? That's it coined like in a phrase. Almost an adult, after an adolescence, and angels and ancestors, which are like...
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Those 3 for me, like, nicely, innit? Yeah. It's kind of like, you know, that good kid, mad city.
Yeah. And I get,
what I was thinking.
It's crazy that you mentioned that, because I get, you know, some resemblance from that, just in terms of just how the cadence and the flow of how the whole tape goes. I feel the production is crazy on that. Like, my particular 2 favorites are Swing and Patterned. I mean, I think the beats are just mad. Just going for... Yeah. Come on. This is present day. This is coming out. You know when this is coming out, but we're on air right now, basically, represent. So yeah, you know this is coming out. I've heard the full thing. And how you started off My City, the saxophone, was that intentional?
100%.
Everything intentional. Do you play the saxophone, or was that someone else playing?
I don't play the saxophone. I had a saxophonist. We had a saxophonist come in. My boy actually, Tori, and he plays sax over the whole thing. So if you... like, everything that you hear sax on is Torian, and I think one thing I wanted was like continuity through the whole thing. So we had saxophone starting it. That felt like a real let's start with some sax. And I wanted to have the whole orchestra feel. That's why I did the little count in, and then I just played around with strings and piano and just gave it that whole live effect. Like, for me, My City is my favorite because it's just like, that's the best production I'll do for a while. As in, like, telling a story, setting a picture, setting a tone. Like, My City is just anthemic. You get me? So
crazy, bro. It's crazy. Grandma was spot.
That's my favorite.
Grandma was spot on with about Black families not having discussions and opening up to one another in the house.
My connection's moving.
Is it mine or yours?
Funny.
Connection, don't fail me now. Hello? Jords?
We're back.
Are we back?
Hello?
Yes. The devil, you're a liar. Sorry, the devil's a liar. It's so good. It's so good. He's a liar. Bro, use your hotspot.
This Virgin Media thing, man.
Use your hotspot. It's the best thing.
I have. I've been rinsing it.
Yeah.
I had to just switch to it.
Quick thing. I was saying, Grandma, spot on. When she was saying about Black families not having discussions that can lead to better learning. And for me, I was like, in a household, why do you think that is? I mean, she hits the nail on that, but why do you think that that's such a current thing amongst Black communities?
Why do you think Black people don't speak to each other?
Why do you feel like we don't have discussions?
We're scared of a lot of things, man. I think like we're scared of. It's the same as everything. It's like we're scared of. I don't know. For example, let's say someone's gay, someone's homosexual in the house. Like, you have a bigger fear of the conversation than you have of the outcome. You get me? So you'll rather not have the conversation and keep it like that than an outcome that may not go the way you want it. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, I think it's and similar things like mental health and all that taboo. There's a lot of taboos in Black culture, I think, and I think it's important that we're starting to address those things.
Yeah, I feel
let
like
people be themselves a bit more.
And I think what's in the time that we're living in now, I think which is the best time for it because of the fact that we're now aware. It's become way highlighted more now in the last 5 years. 100%. And even when we hear our favorite artists speak on their mental health and their depression, like going to Dave dealing with psychodrama and Stormzy even mentioning that as well, it's
100%.
allowed other people to engage in conversations like that and start having it more. I feel like it's quite crucial.
100%. I think another thing that's a bit of a disconnect, yeah, like the older generation, they're cool. They're cool, you know, like they're all right. You get me? If you tell them, like, they won't understand it. But I think some things that happen, they don't understand it. And I'm sure the same things will happen with me and my offspring when I eventually have one. Yeah, there's things I won't understand, but the key is knowing that I don't understand that, and that, you know, at the end of the day, all I want, if I love you, all I want is for you to be happy and for you to feel like you can be yourself around me. You know,
100%, 100%.
That outweighs my particular beliefs on certain things.
Yeah, man. And it's, I feel like it's really needed that we need to be comfortable within our own skin and within our own four walls. Do you know what I mean? We spend so much time with our family, so it's who better not to confide in. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, especially because it's so deep, man. Because like there's so many people against us in this world, yeah, as Black people. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
So it has to start with ourselves, but because it's so deep ingrained that we're, you know, it's fight for your survival, and, you know, you got to protect your own and blah 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 blah. That's why it may be a bit more difficult for us to look after each other, than in other races where instinctively they stick together. You get me? So
that brings me to my next point as well, because reading on your bio as well, it says music to help a whole generation of young people from the inner cities process their pain. Do you feel like that's the music that you're delivering now? That's what your music does? And if so, why do you feel like you kind of have to take on that, you know, that mantle, that kind of, you know, wear that on your back, so to speak? I think,
this particular project, like, just because what man's been through whilst I was making this project, you know, obviously I lost a few grandparents, and I lost quite a lot. So for me, it's always been the point of music is my therapy, and if I put it out on the track, then I'll feel better after it. And then I remember, because I made Halo so long ago, I remember sending it to, I think I sent it to just a couple of people, and then it became this whole like, I'm going through this. This is what I'm going through. Let me tell you about it. Let me confide in you. Like, this is how you have helped, man. And I thought, you know what, like, I can do that. Like, I can do that. Honestly, I feel like I can do that if I can do that for you, one-on-one, then I can do that for more people. And it feels like there's something that's missing about that. It's not really there at the moment. There's not really ways for people to process that kind of stuff. So I think, me personally, I wouldn't say it about myself that I'm going to be the one person that's carrying the one. It's on my back and I'm the superhero. But for me, I just want to help in any way that I can.
Yeah.
And if my art helps someone process their pain, then that's what I'll continue to do using this music, innit? You get me?
Sick.
That's for this project, though.
Brothers. Hey, Jords, banger. I was listening to this. I was like,
to the listening party tonight.
Of course. I'm there. I was like, Jords, that you're spazzing on this track, you know, like, you know, the flow is there and that. You're hitting pockets, and I'm like, yo, do you know what would be? We need a Brothers remix. Personally, I want to put that out there. We definitely do need a Brothers remix. And even if I have to extend my arm to anyone who I can help with that, because I was thinking when I first listened to this, I was like, wait, who would be great on this? I thought Gigs will come with that.
Blood.
You see, Gigs would be, because of that beat. It was just
I'll just hit it with my brothers. Yeah, bro. Gigs would go hard.
And then I thought, you know what? Even what that lyrical play, Wretch could drop 1-2 in there, you know.
Wretch held me up as well about Glide, so like I would love. You know what is them two
Mm.
were people that I was raised on that music. You get me?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
hood
yeah.
raised me on gigs, and the hood raised me. I remember when Walking the Park come out, like Talking the Hardest when it first dropped, and he had a song called Bum Titty Bum. And it went, bro, Bum Titty Bum was hard. Like, so them and Wretch, I remember watching his acapella freestyles and being like,
Yeah,
cool, I'm gonna start writing.
yeah.
That's literally what got me. I watched the freestyle that he did, and I started writing my first bars, and that was like facts.
Till this day,
So,
I don't think there's no better fire in the booth than the one Wretch has set out. And that's no disrespect to any other artists out there. They've come hard,
man.
but yeah, man,
Insane.
it's just yeah,
Insane
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Insane.
Mrs. Chambers.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this one. It sounds like confessions to me, bro, because you're going in. You're laying it out all on there on that track. Yeah, what would you want your people to just take away from that? Because you're saying a lot.
That's just me being like, you have the moments when I remember the day I recorded it in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
I was with Tamarabi was in the studio.
Hey, my brother Tamarabi.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Tamarabi and Flo were in the studio, and Story's gonna bait out Tam, but he kept like doing some singing stuff. Yeah, just in this. I was like really like I'd written the bars and I was like, yeah, I need to get in the zone because this one's a personal one. It brings a lot of energy to the front. And Tam was just there, just singing, innit? And I was like, blood, like, and chatting. I was like, no, blood, like allow it. Like, I'm trying to record. And he kept doing. I got a bit angry because I was just on edge of it. I was just a bit on edge, and then I was like, blood, let me allow it, man. I got angry. I was like, no, I need to just record. And, like, just like, shut up, man. Shut up, please, because I'm trying to. And then after I recorded it, I just went straight home because I was just like, I can't even explain it. I was just so. You can hear it in the song. It was real vulnerable, and me
100%.
when I get vulnerable,
Very honest.
When people
Very
see me
honest.
vulnerable, I kind of like allow it. I get a bit. I have to go a bit more toxic masculinity. I'm still bad. I'm still about this.
Yeah.
Because I got insecurities. Don't think it's not on. You get me?
Yeah.
But that's like me being like on musically and lyrically. That's like my naked soul, bro. Like you hear my grandma and they're chatting to me. You understand? So like it's that. I think you have to kind of dance on that edge of vulnerability and power.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people think that being vulnerable doesn't make you powerful, but for me, being able to be vulnerable and tap into that makes you more powerful. So even seeing the impact that song's made as well, like it's a very powerful song.
Of course, you're speaking to an audience. You're speaking to a lot of people what you're saying. Exactly. It's really in the substance of the context of what you're delivering, and that speaks to everyone in some way, shape, or form. Do you know what I mean? Even when you're talking about religion, do you know what I mean? When you feed that in there as well, do you know what I mean? So everything, you just touched on it. I would like to say this last 3 points. How has your musical journey made you better as a man?
How's my musical journey made me better as a man?
Because music takes you up, down, left, right.
Yeah.
It takes you all over the world. It takes you, you know what I mean? I remember seeing you Croydon, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Performing. Do you know what I mean? Ends Festival. I remember how that moment was for you. And I was like, I'm so, you know, when you're happy for your, like, you know, is that, I'm happy, like, yo, do you know what I mean? So music brings you in so many different scenarios. How has just that made you better just as a man?
I speak better German, like, for real, because music took me to German. I've been to Bear.
Yeah.
Oh, is that you? I think that's you.
Yeah, I thought that was me. Go.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, say that again. Start from the top. Music, yeah.
Yeah, so music is taking me around the world, like literally. So even the fact that I could film a film in Jamaica, pay homage to where I consider home, and then I've also been to places like Dorset. I don't know about Dorset or Gloucester. I don't know about Gloucester, but I've been there and I've tasted that bits of different types of cultures through my music, innit? So I think that allows me to understand different walks of life and be able to communicate with people from different paths and my own, because I think before I was very South London. I was in South London, and I was that's where I was. Whereas now I think I'm a bit more global, but still local, if that makes sense. I
makes
can
perfect sense.
go wherever and still bring it back to where I'm from. And and I think it's made me a better person, 100%.
Cool. Listening party on tonight. What do you want your fans, your people, them? I even saw you dropping vinyls off. I've yet to receive mine. I see you dropping vinyls off. Yeah. I'm ready for that one. I've got enough vinyls at home, so trust me, I can let them.
Done.
Yeah, enough vinyls. Too many.
Damn, I've got one. I wrote one out for you still. Yeah. Perfect. Also, we got another thing. We got phone cases.
Oh yeah, I'm ready with it. I'm ready with it. Slap that on my iPhone 8 Plus.
Hold on.
If you got one for 8 Plus, I'm calm. I'm even getting the 11 Pro soon. Yeah. You know, we have to upgrade up in this. Yeah?
When you get the 11 Pro, then come to me, innit?
Yeah. All right, cool, no problem. I'll call you, bro. But yeah, what was my question again? I was saying, with the vinyls that you're being releasing, just what do you want your fans to take away from the Jords that we see here today now? Do you know what I mean? Projects released, it's now going to be out in the open. How do you want your fans to take?
I think firstly, this is like, I want everyone to just feel something. Do you know what I mean? I don't want, if you feel uplifted by it, then you feel uplifted, because the song, like, for example, I don't know, like Swing, you probably feel a bit happier afterwards. You might want to text your gal or whatever, and but then you got a song like Halos, and it's a weird one, because you kind of feel uplifted, but at the same time you're still thinking about whoever you've lost and whatever. So I want you to be able to feel something and communicate that you can feel something, because for me as a person, I've never really been great at communicating my emotions, but I've been able to translate it into music. That's my thing. So, but I think at the same time, there's still a lot of people who can feel things and don't quite understand what they're feeling, and they can't communicate that yet. So if this is something that helps that happen, then that's cool with me. But also, this is like the first step to people knowing who I am as an artist. Because it's not that, you know, man's got I can do the brothers thing. I can do that kind of thing. You get me? But I can also do the singing thing for like Rose Tinted Glasses, for example. And I think
it featured
Jazz
KARIS.
Yeah, big homie, man. Hard. She's hard. She's hard.
Absolutely hard. I'm glad you put
like,
this.
Yeah, man, it made sense. I think what made sense as well is that apart from KIDA, all the features were South London.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Dotty's
my brother, so he knows I already got bad love for him. Yeah.
Hardest.
Too wavy on it.
Trust me. He used to rap under a different name back in Ends. I'm not
gonna
say his name.
I'll have to phone Dotty and find out. No, but Jords, thank you.
It was hard though.
Yeah? It was hard. No, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much right now. Almost an Adult is out right now. Stream it. You can get it, purchase it. You would not be disappointed. As he said, he's got 2 of South London's finest on there, and of course, KUDZ. And just check it out. The project is solid. It's deep. It takes you for a roller coaster. And you get Jords, man. You get rapping Jords. You get singing Jords. You get vulnerable Jords. You get Jords all around at this point. But thank you so much for joining me on here. You might as well introduce the next track, because we're playing Swing.
Appreciate it.
So yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this is one of my favorites off the project. This is a tune I'm produced with Lord Akira, and this is for the ladies. Swing.
Jords, appreciate you, brother. Love always. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Take it easy. Yeah.
You too.